But last of all, I'm deeply glad to be able to introduce Anna. Anna, I asked Anna, how should I introduce you? What should I say? And she said, well, I'm the Commissioner for Convergent Content. And I looked at her with some alarm and said, would you like me to explain what that is? And she said, no, I think I'd better do that. So I'm going to let Anna do that. Anna, welcome.
Hello, thank you for staying to the end. I've got the graveyard shift. So you can all get a commission just by turning up. I am here today to talk to you about Convergence. And I am the commissioning editor for Convergent Formats at Channel 4. What the hell does that mean? Good question. So it's a new position at the channel. I've been here for a couple of months. And my role really is to look at the horizon and look at the future of television. And by that, I mean looking at where I suppose this connection's happening where the television and the internet are fundamentally colliding, or I should say more positively, getting married, and seeing actually what that really means. So I am going to just run you through my order of play. So I'm going to talk about Convergence on a higher level and what that means to Channel 4 as a broadcaster. I'm going to talk a bit about this new Convergence Format Fund, the commissioning process, so ultimately how do you get something commissioned in this weird and wonderful world, and also about a new position that we've got as a company, and then if any of you are left, some questions at the end. So, Convergence and Channel 4. Well, how will this actually impact us as a broadcaster? And we need to evolve and adapt as a business to keep on top of this. As this landscape continues and changes, so must we. And we've started. We've restructured, so we've embedded digital with commissioning, so it's very much not thought of as an add-on, and it's fundamentally coming from the very core of what we do. We know that we need to look for new ideas in new places, and I'll talk about more about that later. And we've got a new fund called the Convergence Format Fund. So, getting connected. We keep hearing these words, YouView, smart TV, connected televisions. We know the world of television is continuing to change and converge, but what does this actually mean? And what does this mean for television? Ultimately, it's the television becoming connected to the internet, and that flat screen in your lounge having a whole new kind of wire coming out the back of it. And I'm not talking about digital content around the television, I'm actually talking about a whole new type of format and how this plays out with second screen technology and devices. So in essence, I'm talking about a hybrid TV format that's never existed before. So this new kind of television. What actually will this programming look like though? So let's take entertainment for an example. In the beginning, there was Countdown, and you could play along with Carol if you had a quill to hand, and try your own at trying to beat the contestants on the screen and shouting very loudly at the television. And then the evolution of this was £1 Million Drop and being able to play along live on your laptop. But what is this next stage? What's the playing along from fundamentally when the television's got connection within? And what does this look like for news programming and for documentaries and specialist factual? And I'm looking at all of these TV genres because what connected television means to one TV genre will be completely different to what it means to something else. And what are these new types of experiences? So to work out the answers, we know that we need to look and we need to hunt for fresh ideas. And these ideas need to come from a new place. So we're looking at new kinds of creative and reaching out to this creative culture that probably at the moment is that digital media, and among them I'm talking about game makers, creative technologists, digital artists, interactive storytellers. Really, the essence for me is that a great idea can come from anywhere. And finding the raw material of the content, so the idea. So I'm not asking you to come and present a TV program. I'm just asking you to come with an interesting piece, a tiny, tiny little thought that could be interesting somewhere. I'm really looking at that idea and then marrying it up with whoever we need to make that happen. And 3, taking creative risks. This is what Channel 4 is known for. we're not going to get it right first time. We're going to make lots of mistakes. And we need to take these creative risks to get there. And we're talking about dealing with new types of talent and forging partnerships between disciplines to create these new experiences. And then ultimately, pushing boundaries, making mischief, as Channel 4 likes to do. So, the Convergent Format Fund. Now, no one actually knows what this new experience is going to look like or what actually this TV will evolve to be. But we need to experiment and test now so we're ready for when these connected TVs become mainstream. We need to be innovating and risk-taking and learning what content works now so we're in a position to go to air with these new formats when they become mainstream. So, the details. It's an experimental fund. At the moment, it's a lot about R&D. I'm commissioning across the board from interesting pieces of intelligence, and by that I mean how are we all feeling when this is suddenly a communal device. Lots of innovation we've seen before is on personal devices and personal kit. How will that suddenly transfer when you've got your huge big screen in the television, right down to sort of doing some quick, dirty prototyping and some proof of concepts where the tech isn't quite there yet. We've got $2 million to spend this year on working out what those answers are. And so really, we're looking at investing in ideas, apps, creative concepts for this next generation of connected television and the other connected devices. So how will these tablets and smartphones talk to our content? Will your iPhone be your new remote? And again, working together with creators from a range of disciplines to invent future convergent formats and unconstrained by the current TV schedule and current technology. So what I'm really looking to answer is what are these creative opportunities for Channel 4 on connected television? And I can't stress enough. I know that Jay's said it, I know that David Abraham said it. We really are looking at all types of creative, hence why I'm here today. We know that we can't get these answers from our old school big super indies. It really is looking at a range of disciplines to get these answers. And an idea can come from anywhere. So, the details of the commissioning process. My shop's open for business now. Ideally, if you can keep it to one page, I know for the creatives in here, it's probably more challenging. If you want to draw lots of pictures, that's also great. I'm looking for developments for 2011, so now. As I've said, I'm across all genres. So any ideas across from entertainment through to documentaries, through to sport. I would like your ideas as soon as possible. And the email, if you can submit these, is on the screen. onlineproposals@channel4.co.uk. Now, that's all about the future. But while I've got you, I also wanted to talk, I suppose, when we're looking at these worlds colliding and these kind of new disciplines coming together for partnerships, I want to take the opportunity to tell you about a new role that we've got, which is our new Games Commissioner. So we really are looking to expand in this area, and this is a luxury for someone to be thinking about games 24/7. We do loads of exciting games at Channel 4 already. We've got some great education ones. I'm sure everyone knows about the £1 Million Drop Play Along, but this is for someone to think and breathe gaming 24/7, and for us to have that extra connection with your gaming community. So we're looking at exploring opportunities around relevant programs and brands. So looking at our IP and the fundamentals of which platforms they should be on, what types of business models can we look to experiment around, and really what kind of shows we should be putting on different platforms. But we're also looking to come, I suppose, in a Channel 4 route, the other way up, the one-way street. And what I'm really interested in is looking at an idea where the game starts first. So engaging the gaming community in originating true multi-platform ideas that could include TV in their scope at some point. So in addition to extending these brands in a gaming environment, it's really fully mixing them up and creating a new blend, I suppose, as winemakers would say. And the ultimate is starting at that other end. So that's going to take longer, and that's going to be new partnerships. So what happens if you put a gaming developer in a room with a comedy writer and shut the doors for 6 months? It will be very experimental, and it will take a lot longer. But I think, for me, that's the more interesting. And that's me. I'm assuming no one's got any questions, so I'll go. So thank you very much.
Anyone have a question for Anna? Doors open? Your ideas?
Yes.
For the job?
Yes, of course.
We're very interested to see what comes out when you put those two people in a room and lock the door.
Mm.
That'd be very interesting.
Yeah.
Just a really quick one on the IP. Sorry, just a really
Yes.
quick one on the IP. If ideas that are submitted, is there any protection? Is there any kind of a guys? Well, 10 other people had the same idea, but thanks very much. Is there anything like that?
I know with creative ideas. I mean, it's the same in the TV world. It's so impossible to protect those. But I think we're talking about new types of disciplines coming together. We're talking about new kinds of partnerships, and that is really where I see it being. It is a partnership, and I think we need to look at new types of revenue models, especially around gaming, and indeed this sort of new hybrid. It's not the same. It's not necessarily our terms of trade. It's not necessarily how we've been dealing with digital platforms. It's all very much a conversation, and I think it's bringing everybody to the table about that. The last thing I want to do is hinder that creativity over IP rights. At Channel 4, we're in a very luxurious position of really stimulating that UK culture and not kind of taking it all in as an ownership and a closed door.
Ewan, you've got a question?
In the past, I've seen Channel 4 slides with budgets for different projects, levels of minimum and maximum. Do you have any ideas of that for the young indie developers out there, so they have a understanding of what kind of budgets you've got?
For what? Sorry?
For any of your developments, do you have like a budget for any of them, a budget cap for any of the
Oh, a
games?
cap. Not on mine, because I think asking someone to do a piece of research and intelligence is completely different to asking someone to do a full simulation on a Samsung connected television. So it depends really, I think, what I'm asking for. Mm-hmm. I am going across genre, across platform, and in some things we've got to make flash simulations. The tech's not there yet. But where we can, I'm interested in very much trying to recreate that environment as you would see it. When you put someone in front of a computer, they immediately react differently, even if you're demonstrating what it would look like on a television, to when you have them in their lounge and they're already in their lean back with their remote. So it really does depend on what the idea is. Sorry, I know that's probably not a succinct answer.
That's fine.